You suddenly awaken. The field you wake up in feels familiar, but of another world. A storm sits threateningly in a sky you've never seen before.
So it takes place after the events of the opera Orfeo. Eurydice wakes up with no memories of Orfeo or anything that's happened. So the first couple of levels are her remembering.
Eurydice traveling through the underworld, trying to figure out what happened to her, and she's trying to find Orfeo. So it's based on the play L'Orfeo by Monteverdi.
It's supposed to be a kind of copy of an old game called Zork, which is basically all sound, lots of description to help you imagine the game.
It's completely audio based. The only visuals are the arrows to click which direction to move. Other than that, it's all background sound. It's a lot in your imagination as well. It's a really creative game.
Everything in Zork is based on text, so you have to type in your instructions. And what we're doing is everything is communicated to the player through audio. So there's sound effects and narration, all of which is produced by the young people.
Somehow you're going to have to do that, keep the character, whilst also enunciating and making sure that we understand every single word.
Now that you're standing next to the pig, you realise that sprouting from his back a white feathery ring. Snap. Now that you're standing next to the pig, you realise that sprouting from his back are large, white, feathery wings. As he sees you, he spreads his wings majestically, flapping them to raise himself high above you. Finally, he opens his mouth and says,
I am hungry.
In front of you is the organ player, frantically searching the ground around him.
Oh, this is a disaster. I've lost my sheet music and the first hymn is coming up. It's titled, I Cannot Say How Great My Bliss Is. Can you find it for me?
If you have some sheet music, open your bag and press the minus sign to offer it to the organist.
Thank you, but I need the second one now. It's titled, Thou art dead, my love, and I am breathing. Do you know it? Thanks, you've helped me so much. Now I'll help you. Here is the key to the graveyard. The door is in the corner over there. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Initially when they started, a lot of their ideas were still graphical, and the first thing they did was ask, could I add features to the game engine that would allow them to put graphics in? But they sort of gradually got into it, and actually what it does allow them to do is they can conceive of these quite expansive worlds, which if they'd done in a graphical environment, they then would have had to spend many hours producing all the graphics to go with it.
Considering you have to script each of the levels, you've got to then record all of the narrations, you've got to then go away and find the sound effects, then you have to edit the sound effects, you have to edit the narrations, then you have to build the level, and you've got to play test the level. I mean, it's a huge amount of work really for each one, so they've done really amazingly.
That's really fun, kind of selecting sounds that work well, you know, that paint a picture and all that.
It's really fun. It's different than anything else I've ever worked with. It does teach me a lot about game design.
They learnt about the opera itself, they learnt about Greek mythology as well through the story. They practiced script writing, and they learnt about recording and editing techniques. Hopefully one of the outcomes of the project would be that the young people would have more confidence in trying to make their own game and using a game engine. There's certainly a lot of accessible game engines out there now.
There is a fresh grave in front of you, just a mound of earth and a simple wooden plaque. It reads,
Here lies Eurydice, tragically killed on her happiest day.
You begin digging with the shovel. Soon the soil starts crumbling all around you. Piles of earth collapse onto you until you are completely enclosed. You can't move, you can't speak, you can't breathe. You black out.